This is the new TC Pride Podcast, Episode 70, on location at the 2017 Golden Valley Pride Interfaith Service. Happy Pride 2017. We are on location in Golden Valley at Spirit of Hope Church for the second annual Golden Valley Pride Interfaith Service. And I'm here with one of the participants in the service today. You actually did the welcome, I believe. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Jeff Hansen. I'm the pastor here at Spirit of Hope Church. I've been here about 3 years.
And can you tell folks a little bit about this interfaith celebration?
Yeah, last year was our first opportunity to do that, and the Lutheran Church here in town, the Presbyterians, the United Methodists, and the Unity in Christ Church came together thinking that we needed to celebrate this. It's on a Sunday, so we needed to kick it off with a joint worship service, bringing the whole community together, and it went very well, and it was great fun.
So that was in the park last year, right? And now, like I said, we're at Spirit of Hope Church. And you had actually said something in your message about us not being in charge and that being okay.
Yeah, exactly. The weather changed our location. We had, as Lisa said, a meteorological shift today.
A good reminder that someone else is running the show.
Exactly, and that's good for us to be reminded of that often, I guess.
Well, thank you very much for your time, sir, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, and you too. Thanks.
Reverend Richard Bullard, the pastor at Valley Community Presbyterian Church in Golden Valley.
Reverend Lisa Largest from Lake Nokomis Presbyterian Church in South Minneapolis.
Now, Reverend, you said something today about how we're all being, about us all being here to celebrate love.
I believe I did. Yep. And I mean, most of it is about how in these times when our politics are so driven by hatred and dividing people, I think the LGBT movement and the churches that have fought for equality for so long have something to say about doing things differently and about the power of love to change things. And I think that's what the LGBT community brings, and certainly that's what churches like these churches bring.
And speaking of fighting for inclusion, I think it's important for folks to know that you actually fought for 30 some odd years for inclusion for everyone in the Presbyterian Church.
Yeah, I came out in 1986 and was ordained in 2016. So, yeah, we're doing a lot of work in those years.
And in your message, there was a moment of silence to start things off. Can you kind of talk about the significance of that, please?
When Richard started the service this morning, he talked about the anniversary of the nightclub shootings last year in Orlando. And there's no words to express the terror of the violence that's still going on. And so just having a moment of silence kind of helps us just to remember who we are and why we're here.
And out of that silence comes justice, and out of that silence comes you can hear the energy around us after service, and you're going to hear all the energy at the festival this afternoon. People are out here to be together and to show love. Love can win, and that's what we're about, right, Lisa?
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much to both of you for your time. Thank you for having me out here today. And
good afternoon. It's going to be sunny. It's coming.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vicar Wade Wackles. I'm at Valley of Peace Lutheran Church, in Golden Valley.
Now, part of the participation that you had today in the service was, so you actually read from the book of Isaiah. You did a reading from the book of Isaiah today. It was a very powerful message. Can you kind of sum it up for folks?
Yeah, that part of the book of Isaiah is a call to an authentic sort of worship and an authentic relationship with the holy that isn't about going through the rituals, but it is about how we treat each other. And that what we do by way of taking care of the least of these around us and taking care of each other is much more important in God's eyes than any particular ritual or any particular fasting practice or anything like that. So it was really a call to be a neighbor to each other.
So one thing I thought was interesting is, so we have pastors, reverends, rabbis, and vicars today. Could you maybe kind of explain sort of the difference between your actual designation of a vicar?
Sure. I'm a vicar because I'm an intern, or was an intern. I just recently graduated from seminary, Luther Seminary over in St. Paul, and so I'm not an ordained minister yet. I will hope to be soon, but I've just finished the educational requirements for that. And part of that program was to be on staff on a part-time basis at a church, and so I've worked with the regular pastors at Valley of Peace for the last 2 years, and right now we're calling a new pastor, so I'm kind of helping substitute until we get the new pastor in.
Well, thanks for being here today, and thank you for your time.
You bet. Thank you very much.
Reverend Pat Williamson. I represent Unity Minneapolis right here in Golden Valley.
So part of the service that you participated in today was what was referred to as the opening sentences. Can you kind of explain that to folks, please?
The opening sentences is truly just a welcome, knowing that these communities that participated today is truly an open and welcoming, inclusive communities. These communities value diversity. Not only do they value it, they encourage it.
You had said a couple of important things in those opening sentences today about power being guided by love and about bringing the love of God to bear on the isolating fear of the world.
Absolutely. Love, I believe, a cliche is much more than a cliche. Love conquers all. I believe love, as we remember Gandhi, I believe love drives out hate any day of the week.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and a happy Pride, sir.
God bless you. Happy Pride.
I'm Roger Michael, formerly of Golden Valley, now live in Minnetonka.
I'm Roderick Phipps Kettlewell. I'm one of the music directors who are participating in this service. It was a wonderful event, and wonderful to collaborate, and the message, the central message of the speaker was just truly incredible. I think one of the most profound summaries, I think, of the power of love to change the world. I think it was just amazing, truly amazing.
And you said you participated in the service today as well?
Well, yes, I'm a member of his choir, and I used to live around the corner from the church, so I'm familiar with the area, and I found the service was excellent and very much needed during our time, and agree with the message that it was powerful and needed to be spoken at this time, considering the situation in our world and sometimes in our state. And other states could, of course, really listen to it as well.
It sounds like it was also very important that today was an interfaith service. What do you feel is the significance of today being an interfaith service?
Well, there was always something to be gained by understanding how others are. So if you want to understand how others live, how others experience their life, how they believe, how they approach things, and to see people working together, to have a rabbi speaking the prayer in his own language, but also the Hebrew, plus also he also read the Gospel of Matthew, which was, I thought, very significant, and then also to have people who might, so often people argue about the niceties, the little details between denominations, and the truth is we have so much more in common. So whenever we gather like this, it has so much more power. And music, of course, is also one of the great bonding activities and also expressions. So I think something like this is so powerful for the community, and I think as such it's something we should do often.
And it was especially relevant today, sir, that today was an interfaith service.
Yes, I agree, and I've been part of this choir at Valley Community Presbyterian Church for a number of years, but we used to have an interfaith Thanksgiving service with the churches in Golden Valley, and so a lot of these same churches were involved but they no longer do that. We are part of another interfaith service, but it's always better when we can do this and are agreeing on during Pride Week especially.
Well, thank you very much for your time, both of you, and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Thank you.
I'm Paul Michelson from North Minneapolis and Valley of Peace Lutheran Church.
And so we're at Spirit of Hope Church, so you're not in your home congregation today. Why was it so important to you to come out to this event today?
Two reasons. One is that we sing in the choir at Valley of Peace, so our choir was singing this morning. But secondly, we wanted to celebrate with everybody the wonderful, inclusive spirit that the Golden Valley Pride Festival engenders.
Absolutely. I mean, this was an interfaith service. What do you feel as the significance of that? How important was that today was an interfaith service?
I think that's very important because it's not just Lutherans, not just Methodists, not just Catholics, not just Jewish people that support the gay and lesbian community. It's everybody. We're all God's children.
Well, thank you very much, sir, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
My name is Carmen Garland, and I go to this church, Spirit of Hope, so I feel like we're hosting a little bit.
And I'm Neil Willardson. I mean, everybody coming together, supporting each other, especially supporting GBLTQ folks. It's really a great opportunity to bring everyone together and talk about where we're, how far we've come, and how far yet we have to go.
And for people that have never been to Spirit of Hope Church, you're an actual member here. What can you tell people about the community here?
It's an open group. It's very welcoming. We're open and affirming, right? So we have members who are already part of the LGBT community, and I don't know, it just feels like we're who we are, and so it feels like a normal, natural thing to have this event here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm Ella Willardson. I'm Sarah Thompson.
And you're actually members of the church. Can you tell me some of your feelings about the service today?
Well, I thought it was really interesting to hear from her because she experienced all the stuff from the past and everything. And I thought it was really nice for a change. I guess we don't really talk about politics very much here, so it's really nice to hear some of that stuff.
Yeah, she talked about love as a political force today, actually. How did you feel about the service today?
I was working in the nursery, but
How did the kids feel about the service today?
we read a lot of books instead.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
So what was the significance today of this being an interfaith service?
Well, I guess it comes from a lot of different orientations of faith. So it's nice to hear different opinions of other people from different cultures and stuff.
I always like to hear from different churches because we, as a church, we're accepting. However, we don't visit other churches as much, and it's always nice to hear other people speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Candy.
And I'm Tom, her husband.
I'm Lynn from Golden Valley.
So as I understand, so you're not actually members of the Spirit of Hope Church, but you're from the area.
Right. We'd heard about the festival and also that there was a worship service at the park originally, and so we planned to attend.
That's right. We were really looking forward to the festival and to the worship service, so we're glad that Spirit of Hope opened up their facility so we could be here today for the worship.
Correct. I'm not from Spirit of Hope, but I also wanted to participate in the service and participate in this community activity in Golden Valley since I'm a resident here, and I love it here.
So today was about today was an interfaith service. So sort of in your opinion, what is the significance? What's the importance? How important is it that this was an interfaith service today?
It was very important because I think it represents that all communities are coming together and in support. It was just very meaningful. Every one of the participants in the service were really good, and all three of us came out of the service saying that was just a wonderful service.
Right, and not only a number of Protestant pastors were there, but also to see the Jewish rabbi participating, I thought that was very meaningful also.
Yes, it was important to me, and I loved having it here in this setting because it was so very beautiful.
Well, thank you very much, all of you, for your time, and enjoy the festival today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Happy Pride 2017. We're on location at Golden Valley Pride for the second annual Interfaith service, and I am here with
Jerry Rubino.
Now, Jerry, we've actually met before. You've been on the podcast before when we did an episode of the Twin Cities Gay Men's Chorus.
Right. It was actually, I believe, at this same event last year where the church where I work part-time combined with several other area churches to do an interfaith service that was knowingly part of and supporting the Golden Valley Pride Festival. But then I direct Out Loud, which is one of the small groups of the Twin Cities Gay Men's Chorus. And we did sing last year at noon. Because of the weather this year, we're going to sing maybe at 1:30. So we're kind of scrambling. But whenever we get a curveball, we either have an opportunity to figure it out or give up, and we don't do that very often.
So you said you're also in charge of, you were one of the people in charge of the music today as well?
Yes, and it's wonderful when we come together for Interfaith because we often find that we have much more in common than we often realize, and so it takes a lot of work to kind of come together, but we found some wonderful texts for the combined congregation to sing, and there were 2 choral anthems that the choirs combined to sing, and as you and I talked about before, the lyrics, I don't have time to read all of the lyrics, but one that was written by our local composer, David Lohman, is a song called For All the Children. And the first verse says, God, we gather as your people to raise our song above, and we dare to claim the promise of your love. Though the day may not yet be here, we trust it soon will be when your children will be free. And then, it's kind of a song of freedom that some of our black brothers and sisters, used to sing all the time 30 years ago. We are in the LGBTQ, I always get those mixed up, community are looking to support inclusivity for all. And I love the fact that our churches combined with that as being our core value.
Yeah, and today was an interfaith service, so that's especially significant today.
Very much so. We had several Protestant churches, Catholic Church represented, synagogue, what am I missing? Oh, and a Unity Church. So, yeah, and we like each other, and we find a lot of common ground, and it's like greeting old friends and then being creative and personal.
Like you said, we have a lot more in common than we do different, right?
Well, I believe that's true as we choose to find where that is. I don't know that all of us, myself included, were raised in an environment where that felt okay or where I had permission to do that, but I believe that as we walk in that light, that we gain traction and that we can actually spread it around.
Well, thank you very much for your time today, and enjoy the rest of the festival. Happy Pride.
Thank you. To you, too.
My name is Anthony Strife. I sing with the Twin Cities Gay Men's Chorus and specifically with our small ensemble Out Loud, which is a 12-man small ensemble that does a lot of pop, jazz, and musical theater.
And how does it feel to be performing at Golden Valley Pride today?
Well, this is our second time being at Golden Valley Pride, and I'm so happy to be able to be here. We've had some pretty inclement weather today, so we were a little bit nervous, but we're making it work. We're going to be going on around 1:30. That's a little bit later than we had originally planned, but we all made it here. Everybody's safe and minimal hail damage, so we're really excited to be able to perform and do our absolute best and show off some of the things that we're working on for our past shows, and also highlight something that we're working on for our upcoming show, All You Need Is Love, which is going to be next weekend.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and good luck today.
Thank you so much.
The TC Pride Podcast is a production of Podletter Media and Twin Cities Pride. Subscribe now on iTunes, on Android, or by email at tcpridepodcast.org. Get above the noise by raising your voice. Podletter Media turns your email newsletter, blog, or video content into a more powerful, more personal, more intimate, on-demand listening experience. Your podcast, your story, your voice. Simplified, amplified. Learn more now at podletter.com.